I'm at risk of someone I know in real life finding out who I am by the details of this story, but fuck it. I want to know what happened. Some of my delusions in the episode reference TV shows and video games, but please read anyway. I've posted a little about this on /x/ before, but here's the whole thing. Be me, be 19 years old, be homeless for 4 months, need bucks kick in, move into low-income apartment, not on any psychiatric medication. Now here's the part where I tell most people I don't remember what happened. I tell them it was like I blacked out for 3 months. But the truth is I remember bits and pieces of what happened. I don't know how much of this is real and how much of this is fake, so if I say something like I made matter appear, I'm just saying what I remember. Move into apartment, sudden compulsion to go to library. Having metro pieces. Hello, hello, hello. Unlimit yourself stuck over and over in my head, sometimes changes into vague alternative rock. Compulsion to check out copies of 1984, Animal Farm, and a biography of George Orwell. Take them home, start deciding I want to map out all my morals into different TXT documents on my computer. Don't know why, just had compulsion to do it. Felt like mind was unorganized or something. Memory a little foggy, but the main folder had 4 folders and each folder had 4 folders inside it with TXT documents having memories and morals in each folder. Started becoming deluded somehow, get into weird trance-like state. Each section the 4 folders had A, D, N, or F, for wisdom, courage, power. 4th section was Z, for empty/hidden/middle part of the Triforce. I thought I could sort everything in my mind into those 4 categories. Next thing I know I have the alphabet in a notepad document. Memory of this is foggy, something about highlighting questions I write in them becoming answers. For example, I wrote "Who are you?" and highlighted it and it became "Who do you think I am?" Foggy. Not sure what happens between that and this next thing. It gets to point where I think I can do better than God. The Judeo-Christian God. I refer to that God as Try and am believing there are other gods. FYI, I was an atheist, decided to create my own 7 deadly sins. Look up 7 deadly sins online and mine actually just boiled down to those. I didn't have them memorized. This maddens me for some reason. In this sort of psychosis or whatever, go to bed and lay down and meditate. I don't know how to meditate. And bellow I would like to lease my kite to Mother Earth for 3,000 years thinking I could transport myself 3,000 years in the future. Also bellowed something about how my body was a vessel that I didn't want anymore. I don't remember how I phrased it, how I came up with it, or why I did said it. Suddenly, get possessed. Get up and start flipping off to everything in my apartment, screaming about how all these things are harmful to Mother Earth and Mother Earth isn't interested in my kai, crying in shower, apologizing to Try, apologizing to Mother Earth, get out of shower, start, uncontrollably and very loudly, singing human history, from ancient Greek times to present, or at least my understanding of human history to the theme of Super Smash Bros Brawl. When it gets to around year 2000, I changed theme song to the theme of Spider-Man but still singing human history and the birth of the internet, kind of foggy stuff. Something about me thinking I'm a god like Try. I think I've created a world and people outside my apartment and my apartment isn't where it was. Something about me typing on the microwave. Don't remember exactly. Every time I add the number 9, I think I'm creating 9 times more people. Think I've created too many people. Scream let my people go and press the clear button on the microwave to genocide people. I know that's not what let my people go means, but whatever. Satisfied with amount of people, kind of foggy here again. Asking questions to microwave, it responds by displaying 0 or 1, for no or yes. Asking if it's safe to go outside, thinking new world I created didn't have breathable atmosphere. Kind of foggy here. Wake up in bed. See cardboard boxes in my bathroom with star dates on them. See journal with issue 1 property of my name written on it. I had forgotten I was keeping track of my diet in the journal and was calling each week an issue but somehow read it as a whole sentence. Freak out. Think someone had been using my vessel to do tasks. See George Orwell book, read it as it has another meaning. George Orwellness. One of my mother's cats is named George. thinking George is more important than me and somehow that was some kind of threat and I should continue letting my vessel be used. Wake up every day with more large cardboard boxes with star dates on them, heavy knocking on my door, ignore it, crying in shower every day, stacking food into pyramids, something about stacking 3 tapestries in my room into an X, explaining that there's no past, present, and future. Put Zelda 4 Swords Adventures box in the middle of the X, screaming about how time is a 4-sworded adventure, something about stacking the posters in my room together and how my belongings reflected my personality, for some reason putting GameCube and Wii discs into the sink and on a Monopoly board trying to create a world again or something, had extra cheesy goldfish crackers or something, uncontrollably ranting about how it's the big American cheese or something, yelling follow your nose, find the rat and toucan Sam impression, I don't know why exactly, sniffing out various objects in my room with a goldfish cracker and screaming good job, you found the rat, adding the rats to my pyramids of food, also, a pyramid of carrots from my fridge with my glasses on top, thought it would make my eyesight perfect somehow. All this made sense to me at the time. Foggy memories again. Something about microwave keep turning on in me waking up in my bed and microwave being a different microwave, happens a few times. It's 3:33 a.m., been about a week living in my apartment, scream oh my god, 333 being an evil number was a joke back then or something, screaming about how on the internet there was something called Operation Exodus for people trapped inside the internet to be free, screaming about Freakazoid. Start screaming oh my god, 333 while hitting 3 on the microwave over and over. Microwave turns on, keep chanting and screaming until it becomes kill my god, 333. Kill my god, 333. Chant just becomes gibberish of Kyadri over and over. Wake up in bed again. Some reason there's a new label on my microwave. Remove protective film before use. Another shower and crying. Police bust down my bathroom door. My mom is there. They put me on stretcher and I begin singing uncontrollably. In emergency room, there's lady writing down what I'm singing. They keep asking me for a pee sample, but I thought they were saying pie, but pronounced pee, and I thought it was another word for Kai. I sing loudly into the pee container, here is your pee. My mom at this point is laughing and pissing herself. I say something like yes, pee for Mother Earth. She's like stop, son, and laughing and pissing her pants. I don't know if relevant, but she's actually my dad's ex-girlfriend, but I call her mom because she raised me. I'm put on another stretcher. I ask if these people are people I know from a message board. They say they are. I scream something at them to the tune of the Simpsons theme and yell do, 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 while pointing to them, thinking it can make them disappear. I wake up in mental hospital covered in those sticky rubbery KG things, see security camera in room. I don't have my glasses, so I think it's the universe door nor something in glass thing. My attorney appears and says to sign something. I see someone who looks like an old version of my dad and ask him if he's Father Time. He says go back to sleep. I say something like no one fucks with Mother Earth. Well, Father Time fucked Mother Earth and created me. This gets him mad. He calls nurses and gives me injection to put me to sleep. Every time I leave room, nurses tackle me and take me back to room. Not aware this is a mental hospital at the time, by the way, thinking it's the future. See sign out in the hallway with alien face. Please, no yellow bags of flesh. Thinking only aliens are allowed to be out there, and that's why I keep getting tackled. Soak red pillow in bathroom sink, put it on bed and lay on it. Trick hospital staff into thinking it's blood leaking from my bed. Something about thinking the pillow tag polyester is an alien material. More foggy memory. Wake up in different room. Girl who won't talk to me is there. Something about there being multiple versions of me as other patients. One looks exactly like me but skinny, with an eye patch, smokes, and a red and black plaid shirt. One looks like me but fatter and crooked teeth and retarded. Something happening with running through hallways and getting tackled by hospital staff. Kept hearing Indian flutes, kept hearing doors slamming. I think at one point they figure I'm recovered and try to take me home. My therapist is there trying to bring me to rec center, dragging me around on ragdoll. Various other weird happenings and waking up in hospitals. These are too hard to place in order. There was stuff like a staff who kept saying 5150 just broke the fourth wall. 5150 is a 72-hour psychiatric hold. Another staff kept saying don't rock the dragon. Another happening is me in the mental hospital again, running around room making comedy sketch, something about rich people's assets being Scooby snacks. Time will come for them to give it up, zoinks. Ruh-roh, and I kept saying Mormons are morons. Another room I am sent to. In that hospital I see people watching TVs with Illuminati symbols. Another room I am sent to. I'm pulled under the door and blindfolded and put on a large spinning wheel. Another room I am sent to. I'm rearranging vegetables on the floor and creating spiders. Another room I am sent to. I hear explosions outside. Oh no, other people have discovered the microwave trick, and the world is ending due to it. Another room I am sent to. I'm rearranging colored balls on the floor like atoms, planets, and Legos and Monopoly houses. I don't understand either. Another room I am sent to. I'm pushing these metal designs on the floor around to make a prophecy. Another room I am sent to. I'm making galaxies and solar systems on the mattress. Another room I am sent to. I tear a mattress into shreds. Another room I had a dream about Merlon from Microsoft offering to give me a fake reality of whatever I wanted and I was suffocating trying to scream fuck you. Another room I had a stupid fucking fire alarm. That same room I recite mysteriousness loudly and annoy my roommate. It's an oldie English skit I have memorized. Google it. It's some Atlantis satire documentary. That same room I am given a puzzle book to keep me occupied. Some other stuff about solving mysteries in magazines. All this is really hard to explain because order of events are hard to remember. Something about running from one end of the hospital to the other smack into the retarded version of me and us merging. Then I merged the same way with the skinny eye patch me who smoked. Was sent to other hospitals too. One of them, this guy with Arabic accent, kept blocking the way out of the room and I would scream about how he was a terrorist and he let me out. In that same hospital they wouldn't let me shower and I was like, I'll prove I'll shower without masturbating, and showered with a nurse watching and some patients, and they were somehow amazed I didn't masturbate. In this hospital there was also a girl who materialized and was unstable and spinning like the Tasmanian devil. It looked weird. And a guy who refused to eat and was Indian and very old and skinny. And a big sunny guy with a beard and a yellow shirt. Also, I saw Penn Jillette on TV yelling about how he had to sell cars and he was separated from Teller because of me. Other details of that hospital are too hard to explain. We watched the J. Ward cartoon Super Chick in black and white and in Spanish. I think I was taken back home again at one point and I ran into the street singing in the theme of Never Gonna Give You Up. We descend from above. Instead of we're no strangers to love. We gave you tools to learn to fly. Instead of you know the rules, and so do I. I don't remember the other lyrics. Was sent to some outpatient voluntary hospital. Got picked up by Mystery Incorporated, minus Scooby-Doo. They were paramedics I guess, but they looked exactly like Fred, Velma, Daphne and Shaggy. Was sent to an emergency room in a tall building, being blamed for 9/11. I think they used drocuronium on me. I couldn't move or breathe. I think it was because Shaggy was mad I said he looked like Shaggy. Then I was singing and Walt Disney had returned from the grave to do Mickey Mouse impressions and make balloon animals to cheer me and other patients up. Then I was sent to another mental hospital. We got to go outside and eat ice cream. Thought the guys who gave us ice cream with sunglasses were trying to convert us to Christianity. Saw Penn and Teller outside, but Teller was taller than Penn and Teller had a blanket and was shivering, and Penn smiled and nodded and telepathically communicated, he'll return to normal. This Mexican lady kept saying I was going to be her brother-in-law. There were aliens working here with loose faces. I was taken to brainwashing rooms here to return to normal. I had some kind of psychic twin who was dying. I don't know. Hard to explain. Was taken back to my apartment at one point. Thought I had learned that I was the reincarnation of Adolf Hitler. Saw Hitler being made fun of on South Park. Thought it was unfair and a mockery. How dare they make fun of me and say I'd go to hell. In my apartment my therapist and me are in my living room. I'm drawing a picture as he changes radio stations. Unbeknownst to him and me, I'm actually in the bathroom, so it's a different me. I'm hearing them from inside the bathroom. Other counselor there, Me writing that other therapist is a pedophile for some reason and him trying to shut me up. Me scream from inside bathroom. Counselor yelling about how I made the other me collapse. They're asking me to make the doorknob reappear, explaining what atoms, elements and molecules I need. Another happening involves me waking up in the emergency room over and over, shifting to slightly different realities, saying one of the nurses can talk to animals and she's a pious Ilsen Thornberryist extremist. I get circumcised during one of these wakings up, but I'm not circumcised now, so I don't know how I can remember being circumcised. One of them involves me being a number or something, hard to explain. Eventually I shift back into this reality's emergency room, taken to another hospital where I meet Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Linus Torvalds. Think their names are literal. Bill Gates people from going to heaven, Steve gives people jobs, Linus creates a Torvulsion? I thought this was a word. Bill, Steve, and Linus gave us, me and the other patients, apples and bananas every night. There was some guy who looked like he was from Star Trek there. Also, there was some Asian girl who kept singing "Don't You Need Somebody to Lean On." Also, there was an Asian guy who kept saying she was his wife. They were both patients, though, and when I told him of my troubles he kept screaming what a shame. And I thought they were going to use my skull to create a Wi-Fi signal, and he said Wi-Fi? Like Wi-Fi. One of the staff kept saying I was naked when I wasn't naked and sending me back to my room. He also said I had furballs when I had coughing fits. Sometimes when I'd have laughing fits, I'd hear totem 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 in my head. Also, some girl gave me the flower of life. She drew it on paper and I ate it and she freaked out like you ate the flower of life. I've never heard of anyone doing this. I said something like the only thing worse than a Jehovah's Witness is a Mormon, and this girl was like thanks, I'm a Mormon. They kept trying to sex change a man to a woman through some kind of alien technology. Also, this granny kept talking about being abducted by aliens and they kept trying to shut her up. She kept mentioning Seth. Jerry Seinfeld was my doctor. We had something where we went around a circle answering a question. It was my turn and it would have been perfect if I said never have to, but they skipped me and someone answered the question away a little less clever. Also, Tiger Woods was a patient there too. I spoke to Jerry Seinfeld about Jews and circumcision and Muslims and clit snipping, and I was like, so, the bagel Jews like to mutilate pensies and the sand Jews like to mutilate vaginas. This offended the doctor and I was sent back to the other hospital, the one where I had all the different rooms. Now the staff that said I was naked was here being yelled at by a staff and I had a coughing fit and he said, oh, those are just furballs, then slam. They knocked him down and I heard his last breath. What did I do? And he died. At this hospital I met the Powerpuff Girls and Professor Utonium. Also, a Catholic girl who would cuss. And a girl who I kept calling a robot Furby who said she raped a baby. And a girl who said she was a bee and she needed to get back to her brothers and sisters. Somehow, I learned celebrities are immortal. When they die they just become a different celebrity, and this is all due to them feeding off me. Also, an android who looked like Ellen DeGeneres worked at the hospital now. She'd freak out if I called her Ellen, bitch, bot, or robot. She kept saying I couldn't watch The Simpsons because The Simpsons upset me. She tried to make us watch some boring ass movie called 3 Christmases or some shit. I mostly returned to sanity in this last hospital, was eventually sent to a board and care home, too medicated to protest. And they said I wasn't evicted from my apartment. Landlady of apartment. I kept freaking out and those 4 months stole all my possessions and claimed I threw them away. Had my dad pick me up and get me off the psych meds. I work and go to school now. No drugs, no hospitals. That's about it. There were other happenings and hospitalizations at those hospitals, but I think I nailed the important stuff. So is this paranormal? If not, then what was it? Why was I experiencing it and why do I still remember it? If it's a mental health thing, what was it and why was it a one-time deal? Alright, I said I'm not on meds anymore, but actually, I was on 6 meds when I was released to the board and care home, and now I'm on 1 medication, which I've been on for a couple years. My dad rescued me from the board and care home because they were threatening to put me on conservatorship and I wouldn't have really had a life anymore if I stayed there. He helped me wean myself off the meds because they had caused me to become severely overweight and I was having tremors. Plus I was never on psych meds as a kid. I've been stable for a few years now and I'm living independently, so obviously putting me on a bunch of meds and locking me up in a board and care home the rest of my life wasn't appropriate. But yeah, I have some doctors in that town that are after me, so to speak, who still think I belong in a board and care facility. But they have no legal power to do anything.
That must have been rough. I had a similar experience. There are many explanations for episodes like this. Why were you homeless? Do you have issues with your family? This probably contributed to your decline in mental health. Situations like that can weaken you, and can open you up for breaks like this. There is a lot of negative energy in the world, and when you're in a vulnerable state it can take that opportunity to set in. Glad to hear you're doing better. Keep improving and focus on positivity and things should be alright.
The more details I give, the more I reveal about my personal life and risk someone finding out I'm posting about it here. I was homeless because my parents, my dad and his girlfriend who raised me, had split up and apart. Neither one of them could afford to support me. My dad was actually homeless at the time too, but in a different town. My mom, I call her my mom, was living in a third town barely getting by.
So are you now able to differentiate what was real and what was actually happening? Did you have visual hallucinations or was it all internal stuff?
I guess I had some visual hallucinations, few and far between, like the no yellow bags of flesh sign. Mostly internal stuff, I guess, and yeah, I can tell the difference between fantasy and reality now. Thanks for the responses. Most of my family members agree that it was a psychotic episode. I had one family member suggest it could have been a disassociate fugue, but my experience doesn't seem to exactly line up with what disassociate fugues are. I have a couple of family members who think I was MK Ultra'd, but yeah, like I said, I can distinguish fantasy from reality now and the idea seems silly to me. But it is interesting to think the situation might have been paranormal. Otherwise, I wouldn't have posted this in /x/. Also, a few of you keep saying I'm schizophrenic, but I've done some research on schizophrenia and I honestly don't see how one psychotic episode means I'm schizophrenic. I don't hallucinate, freak out on people, chant, or sing anymore. I'm functioning at full capacity. I am worried about the idea that this kind of episode could occur again, but do you really think the best way to prevent it is to go on a bunch of meds that fatten me up and give me tremors and live in a board and care home? If so, fuck you. I'd much rather live my life and risk having another psychotic episode than live as a mental patient with no future. By the way, my mother did say that during that 3-4 month period I wasn't violent toward other people. Otherwise, maybe I would consider living in a board and care home, for the safety of others. Also, my current diagnosis, the one that my current med is prescribed for, is not schizophrenia and it is not schizoaffective disorder. But my doctor did note I have a history of one episode. It's listed in my papers as a manic episode for some reason. Maybe my doctor in this town didn't have enough details.